With San Diego Comic-Con 2023 well underway, Hasbro dropped a ton of reveals, and this video is going to showcase some of my favorite reveals, particularly the Transformers, with a few Marvel, G.I. Joe Classified Series, and Star Wars The Black Series, and then some. So let's get right to it. Let's begin with yet another repaint and redeco from Hasbro. Don't you just love it when Hasbro makes your figures obsolete? Now that we have this version of Armada Hotshot with Jolt, I mean, come on. What are you going to do with your previous figure except maybe keep it for the sake of keeping the color, right? I mean, man, can't they have just put Jolt together with that figure to begin with? But this one looks pretty interesting. Not sure if it's an Amazon exclusive, but it will be interesting to get this one. So I'm not hating this. I just hate it because this is like the alpha version and they sold us the beta version first, and yeah, I should already be used to it by now. Next up is another recolor. This one is the Tetrajetnacelle, or the Seeker Nacelle. A little bit disappointed that they're using the Tetrajet Siege Voyager class Seeker mold. I was kind of hoping they were going to repaint Thrust, or the Earthrise Thrust mold, but interesting choice that they did this. Not really collecting and completing the Tetrajet, so this is gonna be a pass for me, I think. The figure looks really good, and I think based on the photo, they've kept the premium plastic they used for the old Siege releases. And then we have yet another redeco and recolor, this time of the Leader class Nova Prime. And it uses the Cybertron Universe Galaxy Upgrade, or Galaxy Force Optimus Prime. Now, this is interesting. I'm actually in the process of trying to reacquire that Siege figure of the Galaxy Upgrade Optimus Prime, because I can't believe I sold it off. Anyway, I didn't like it as much, so I decided, it's not 100%, maybe sell it off. But I'm thinking now maybe I should track it down and then get this one as well, so that they look good on the shelf, or look good together. But yeah, interesting choice of mold. I thought they would use another mold, but knowing Hasbro, they always have a penchant for recycling their old molds, and they haven't repainted this mold enough, so they're turning him into Nova Prime. Not too bad. If the price is okay, I might just go ahead and get this one. And then we have a 2-pack for Shattered Glass. Man, this is exciting. Rodimus and Sideswipe with Decepticon Whisper. This is a very, very cool looking set. And then we have the 5-pack Legacy Evolution Stunticons to form Menasor. I kind of knew they would do this. They did the same thing with the Power of the Prime's Dinobots. It's probably not that big of a surprise that they were going to do this. And yeah, I like it. I like this whole idea that the figures are going to be toy accurate. I just wish they didn't use a Legacy Evolution pack. I wish they would have gone on and went all retro on this one and just used the old G1 box design. And you know what, I'm guessing they're going to do that as well in the future. They're probably going to re-release this box set into a G1 styled box just to make us buy the same figures over and over. But this is really interesting. Some of these figures were really hard to find, to come by, particularly Motor Master, Breakdown, and it would be nice to put them all as a gift set, to save those collectors who are just starting their legacy collection with their Generations collection. And this is everybody in one go. Good step. Not entirely surprising, but I'm glad they're really doing this. And finally, rounding up the repaints, I guess this is another Amazon exclusive. I'm not sure, but we've got IDW characters in this Legacy Evolution Deadeye duel between Cascade and Javelin. Very obscure characters in the comic books. If you don't read them in the comic books, you probably not know who these people are, but it looks great. It's probably the set that I'm most excited of for the Amazon exclusives or for the repaints. Both figures look great. Javelin uses that, I think that's the Studio Series Bumblebee movie RC mold that's heavily retooled. She looks fantastic. Those colors look great. Cascade uses, yet again, the I think this is the Chromia mold or the green light mold. I could be wrong, but it's all right. I'm just a little glad that they didn't use the Prime Universe RC mold yet again. Man, that mold's been overused, and I guess this is the next best thing, using the Chromia or green light mold. Really excited for this set. I mean, the alt modes look terrific. The colors, I think the colors are what's going to sell this set. Okay, moving on to Studio Series, and just like what they did with the Autobot pack, they are now doing a Decepticon pack to celebrate the 15-year anniversary of the first Transformers live-action movie, and we've got 4 amazing Studio Series figures in one pack. You know, I kind of thought they would have it like a 6-pack to include a Bone Crusher and Brawl, but I guess that would be super expensive, but this is a nice pack. These are 4 of the best Decepticon Studio Series figures, I think, in the line, and I think they made a good choice with this one, and it would have been really nice had they put Bone Crusher there, since, you know, they're going to do the Masterpiece movie series Bone Crusher. As well have put that figure in, but I guess the budget would have been, the costs and the pricing on this one would be astronomical. So 1 leader class and 2 Voyagers with 1 deluxe class, as opposed to the Autobot set that had 3 Voyagers and 2 deluxe class. So yeah, okay, or 2 Voyagers and 3 deluxes. So this one's probably going to be pricey. I reckon out here in Manila, this is at least going to be $300. I guarantee. It's going to be so expensive out here. But seeing that I've already purged my Studio Series from the Bayverse Studio Series collection, this is not in my crosshairs. This is not in my target list. Probably gonna skip this one. Next up, the upcoming Optimus Primal Leader Class Studio Series Rise of the Beast Optimus Primal. This is looking to be a terrific figure. I hope it won't disappoint. I mean, I hope the plastic quality is going to be as great as what we've seen with previous releases. I mean, the Studio Series have been trying to step up their quality game, and I really hope this one does not disappoint. Then we have the Studio Series Nightbird. This figure is looking so much better than the main line. I mean, that alt mode looks so much more like the Nissan alt mode that it's supposed to have looked like. The main line was like I guess a rough attempt, like the beta version, and this one, I'm really hoping for good things for this figure. And the character was actually pretty impressive in the movie. I really like that character. It's a shame they had to kill her off, but I guess that's what happens when you mess with the Prime and the Autobots. Anyway, whatever. But this figure is loads better, by a mile better than the mainline version, and this is interesting. I hope I can get this one. And then we have Studio Series Mirage. We've already seen some images of this one. Looking good, just not as accurate as I thought it would be. I mean, for a Studio Series figure, he's looking very muscular, very chunky. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, sometimes these images, they can be deceiving. We'll have to wait and see till we get the figure in hand before we make our final judgment, but he's really looking good. I mean, I've not pre-ordered this figure. I'm kind of hoping I can get it in the wild. Pre-orders are sold out for this figure. And then finally, the highlight of the Studio Series Movieverse figures is the Noah Diaz exosuit. Come on, this has got to be the best reveal for the Movieverse Studio Series figures. Look at this thing. Who wouldn't want a souped up? I mean, it doesn't even look like the thing he has. It feels like it's a MicroMaster that they just kit bashed into looking like Noah Diaz in an exosuit. I don't remember him transforming though. Is he jet mode capable? I was unaware that this was the thing, but it looks very promising. Probably the best reveal for the Movieverse Studio Series figures so far. And now for some Studio Series 86 figures, we've got yet another redeco recolor of the core class Ratchet. I mean, come on, Hasbro. I mean, they had to do the clear glass windows, the clear plastic windows, and I hate to say this, but he looks much better than the cartoon version. I'm a sucker for this thing, for clear glass. I mean, I normally go for cartoon accuracy, but There's just something about clear plastic. Or Studio Series 86 figures. This is kind of obligatory. We had Rumble, so this was expected. Frenzy, the red colored Frenzy, because in the toy Frenzy was blue, Rumble was red, but in the cartoons the colors were swapped. This is going to be an obligatory purchase. And then yet another waste of money. We've got Terracon, Novocaine. I mean, I didn't even bother getting Freezer. I sold off Scourge and without ever getting Freezer, so I'm probably not gonna get this one. And finally, man, this is probably my favorite reveal for the Transformers panel. This is the Transformers the movie Studio Series 86 figure number 21. We've got Studio Series Ultra Magnus from Transformers the movie. Man, this guy looks amazing. Pretty sure there's going to be some recycled parts here and there, but it looks to be almost a completely brand new sculpt, and boy, I am so excited for this one. I'm pretty sure that Matrix is repurposed, but everything looks so new, including the head sculpt, maybe the engineering. You have the Matrix of Leadership compartment, you know, a brand new Ultra Magnus mold. Probably the best out of the reveals for San Diego Comic-Con 2023 for the Transformers line. That truck mode just evokes so much G1 nostalgia. I mean, I cannot wait to get this figure. One last thing for Transformers for San Diego Comic-Con reveals, and it's this Stranger Things crossover. The box art looks fantastic. I love the colors of this thing. But the thing about crossovers now is I think you are overpaying for the pop culture royalty fee, and you're overpaying for a novelty. The figure looks great. It looks terrific. And what I've noticed in the past with these crossover figures is they look great, but when you actually get them in hand and up close, they kind of feel cheap. The plastic they use is pretty flimsy, and this one, I'm not so sure. It does look like the Ironhide mold, the Studio Series or Earthrise Ironhide mold, but I'm guessing this is a bigger figure, probably in the Voyager class scale, that they've borrowed engineering from that Ironhide mold. It's not exactly the Ironhide mold that's been retooled, it's just borrowed engineering. The weapons look great, the colors look great, even the alt mode looks fantastic. It's just that I don't think there's any place for this in my collection. If you buy this thing, it's kind of a cross between a Generations figure and a Movieverse figure, and it doesn't really fit in any collection. The only way, I think, in my opinion, is if you collect all of these crossovers and you put them all in one shelf, which is not going to happen for me because not a big fan of some of the releases for the crossover collaborative line. So I do love Stranger Things, big fan, but this figure is just not for me. I don't think so. So that's it for Transformers. Let's move on to some Marvel Legends. I've been toning down my Marvel Legends collection, just reducing my collection to about a handful of figures, but this surprising reveal for the Marvel Legends retro carded X-Men 97 figures, man, I hate Hasbro. These guys are gonna suck me back into the X-Men, and I thought I could live with just the VHS Wolverine and Cyclops in my as my X-Men collection. That's it. But these reveals, I think I'm gonna have to get each and every one of them. Look at this. All the cartoon figures on retro card backs with the fantastic cartoon artwork. How can you say no to this? I think I just got sucked back into the X-Men. I love it and I hate it, but they really, really look great, and they just have a lot of nostalgia. The Rogue, definitely. Magneto, Storm, heck, let's just get everybody. Okay, moving on to some Black Series figures. Wow, they had a great display, but again, just like Marvel Legends and G.I. Joe, I'm trying to streamline my collection and just cherry picking this line. I think I'm gonna have to get this Padawan Ahsoka if I see it online or in the wild. I mean, I'm a big fan of Ahsoka. I think I'm gonna get this, even if I've already sold my Target exclusive Clone Wars, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Anakin Skywalker. I think I'm still gonna get this one. We've got the legendary Jedi Obi-Wan. That was in the final scene, season 1 of Kenobi. The head sculpt looks very good. Do we really need another Obi-Wan Kenobi figure? I don't know, man. It is tempting, but I'm iffy about it. Definitely a pass for me. I sold off my General Grievous. Grievous is one of my favorite characters in the Clone Wars, but the figure, it's not something I need in my collection. Target exclusives. Man, don't you just hate store exclusives? I want this cracked helmet Vader. Oh, man. It's a Target exclusive. It's going to be a pain in the rear end just to acquire this figure, man. I hope I can get it. Qui-Gon's a pass for me. I really like this figure. I mean, when you watch Rebels, oh man, I sold off the other version of this Darth Maul with the cybernetic, with the first version, actually, the predecessor of this version. I sold that off because I thought I was going to get this one. But looking at it now on display, something tells me it's not that great. But I know we'll make our final decisions once we actually get the figure. I did not pre-order it. Maybe I'll go and pick this one up. And then, oh my goodness, Darth Malgus. I never played the game or anything like that, but I did for a time have the 3.75-inch figure. The 3.75-inch figure was in my collection. I had two of them. I opened one for review and I kept one mint on card and then eventually sold it off. But I really, really loved that figure. I thought, I thought it was a good figure. I had a great review for it. And now to have him in 6-inch scale, he looks terrific. I mean, look at that. That's soft goods cape. And even the hood, I think, is soft goods. I could be wrong, but I think I'm just gonna get this one. If I'm able to get Darth Malak, then I'll probably get this one. And then look at this, Star Killer Force Unleashed. This is the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive with the Stormtroopers, and I'm pretty sure they're going to re-release this figure as a single packed figure, but he looks absolutely terrific. And if I'm not mistaken, these are the new Stormtrooper molds. So out here in Manila, this is easily going to be $70. I kid you not. $70, $75, maybe even $80. Because it's going to be literally be impossible to get this one without going to the convention. So, I don't know, man. Very, very tempting. I don't know if I should get this one or just wait for the single packed version, but something tells me I should go ahead and get this one because I did have the 3.75-inch figure for the time. I had 2-3 of those. I had to review them, and then eventually I sold all of them, but I did have a lot of fun with that figure, the small figure, but now in 6-inch version, something tells me I think I need to get this one. Probably my favorite reveal on the convention is Paz Vizsla. Oh my goodness. I remember I had the Clone Wars figure, the 3.75-inch figure, and I had a lot of fun with that figure. I had multiples of those. That was just such an amazing figure for the time because it had the very flexible hip joints and all that. And now in 6-inch format, I mean, this figure looks absolutely terrific. The armor sculpting, the weapons, that Darksaber, I mean, it's probably reused Darksaber, but it looks great on this figure. Complete accessories with the jetpack, removable helmet, 2 blasters, a Darksaber. What more can you ask for? I am loving this figure. I think this is an instant purchase for me. If I can find it, if I can get a pre-order on this one, I might just go ahead and pull the trigger on this one. So one last thing for Star Wars from the reveals, we have from the series Ahsoka, the Black Series, Sabine Wren. Oh man, I gotta get this. We need figures of Shin Hati and Baylan Skoll. Oh my goodness. That's about it, but we can't leave this video without looking at 2 more lines that I have a feeling I'm going to get sucked right back in. G.I. Joe Classified Series, I have streamlined my entire collection to just a handful of figures. But these new reveals, look at this one. The Valkyries, I think. Valkyrie Cobra Troopers. Man, they look amazing. I think I'm going to have to get these. Big Ben. No, this one's a hard pass for me. Shooter. This is very tempting, but I don't need this in my collection, and I know I should pass on it, but I think I'm gonna be tempted to get this one. Desert Snake Eyes, nope, hard pass. The Mole Rats, I think they're a way for Hasbro to release the Zombie Vipers, for the classified series, if I'm not mistaken, because we had zombie Vipers for the 3.75 inch from the old Renegade line. I think this is it. This is their way to release the zombie Viper, and very, very tempting, but I know I don't need them in my collection. I'm probably gonna end up selling them off after I reviewed them, but they look absolutely terrific. Crimson Alley Viper. Oh, I love the Alley Viper, but I think the original version is good enough for me. I don't think I need a Crimson version. Range Viper. I have this one on pre-order from Robo. Oh, I hope it comes soon. This is one of my childhood toys. Just have to get this one. And you know, I'm waiting for Low Light and some of the other figures that they showed previously. And I think I'm just waiting for them to do a sci-fi. Sci-fi was my very first G.I. Joe figure. If I can get that from the classified line, I think I'm done. I don't think I need to get any more classified series figures once I get sci-fi. Then we have the Cobra Hiss, Officer, Range Viper, and Infantry. This is the Fire Team 3-pack. I think this is an accompanying pack for the HasLab Hiss tank. I didn't order the Hiss tank, so I don't think it makes sense for me to actually get this one. So more G.I. Joe reveals. We've got Python Patrol. No, hard pass. Even the Trooper. I'm not into Tiger Force and Python Patrol. I mean, they were cool back in the day, but nowadays, no. Buzzer and Ripper. Man, the Dreadnoks. For a while, I thought I'd really collect everybody. Torch, Monkey Wrench, Zartan, Zorana, Xandar, Road Pig. Lately, I just decided to streamline my G.I. Joe classified series, and I got rid of Zartan. And you know, I think the Dreadnoks are a pass for me. They look great though. Agent Helix. I had this figure when it was first released in 3.75 inch. I think it was in line with the G.I. Joe live action movie. It has a really cool character, a really cool figure as well, but oh no, I think I'm gonna stay strong and no, skip this one. Nope. General Hawk. I've been waiting for a General Hawk figure in the classified series, but part of the purge of my classified series was to get rid of Duke and Falcon and Flint. Got rid of the leaders, and this sucks. Just bad timing. I think I'm gonna have to skip this one, but it does look so cool. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Shockwave. Shockwave was one of my favorite figures back in the day, back in the 80s. My favorites were Storm Shadow. I had Sci-Fi, my first G.I. Joe figure. I had Outback, and I had this guy. I mean, I brought them all along with me and everywhere I went when I was a kid. So this one, just because of the nostalgia value, I think I'm gonna have to pick this one up. Crimson Baroness and the Twins. No, hard pass. The Steel Corps or Steel Brigade? No, Steel Corps Troopers. Man, this thing has a lot of nostalgia for me and my brothers. We actually got this figure when it was first released back in the 80s. It wasn't actually released on retail or anything like that. It was a mail away figure, and the promo was you could be the next Joe. If you remember that, then you're probably as old as I am. And what you did was you had to collect proofs of purchase, like some points, and you had to mail it to Hasbro in Rhode Island. And you could actually create your own G.I. Joe. It was going to be a generic buck. Everybody would receive the same figure, but the catch was you could create the new character. You could create the name, the code name, file name, the attributes, the abilities, skills, and all that. You'd submit it to Hasbro, and Hasbro would come back with sort of like your own file card for this figure. And it was this guy, and he didn't look that great. I mean, he was bare bones, only had like a rifle, and I don't know, he had a backpack. That was it. No jetpack, no interchangeable heads, none of these. And it came with a figure carrier. It was a plastic container. You could store 3 figures, 3 Joes, and then it would slip onto your belt. If you know what I'm talking about, then you grew up in the 80s. And yeah, that was such a cool promo. And I remember we got, I think, 2 of those. We did the mail away twice because I wanted one, my brother wanted one, so Yeah, we had this guy, and I don't know if it was called Steel Corps. I think it was called Steel Brigade. I could be wrong. Yeah, I don't need figures like this. So, oh man, troop builders. I'm gonna have to think about this real hard, but I want to pass on this one because I really don't need it. But the kid in me, you know, wants to teleport me back to the 80s with these figures, and I'm gonna probably purchase this one when it comes out. Tripwire, wasn't really a big fan of this character or the figure, so this one's a pass for me. Some vehicles, we're getting the Vamp with Clutch. No, I think I'm gonna pass on this one. If they had revealed the Recon Sled with Dial Tone, I would have pre-ordered that in a heartbeat. And finally, we've got the Techno Viper. You know what? I was actually keen on getting a Techno Viper because I kind of figured when they were releasing the Range Vipers and all that, the Techno Viper wasn't far behind. It was one of my figures when I was a kid, one of my favorite Cobras. So I was really looking forward to this reveal, but it doesn't look like the Techno Viper I grew up with. The Techno Viper, if you remember back in the 80s, he was colored purple. He had all these 3 tools on his backpack that hooked up with some hoses and all that, and he had a gun that looked like a space gun. This one kind of looks more like in the line of Scrap Iron, with the weapon, with this heat-seeking rocket. I'm not sure if this is... They said it was Techno Viper, but it doesn't look like the one I got when I was a kid. So I think I'm gonna have to pass on this one and just wait for that purple version. So that's G.I. Joe Classified Series. I mean, I was sorry. I had to let the chuckle when I saw this. Pun intended, when I saw this reveal. Chuckles, as part of the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive item. I had this figure growing up as a kid, and I remember I loved this figure because it's one of those few rare G.I. Joe 3.75-inch O-ring figures that had a working holster. I love the fact that you could store his gun in a holster, and I absolutely adored this figure when I was a kid. But I don't think I need the classified version because it's just too goofy looking. No, I don't read the comic books. I don't think I need this figure. Okay, and then finally, last item for this review is HeMan and the Masters of the Universe, the Origins line. They came out and dropped a bomb on all the collectors for the Origins line with the cartoon collection. Boy, oh boy, these figures look so great. These are cartoon accurate Origins figures. The Origins figure is supposed to be toy accurate with articulation. This one is with articulation, the 5-inch muscle, really disproportionate figures that have the cartoon accurate look to them. And you know, I've not started collecting the Origins line, and this line, the cartoon collection, might just suck me back in because I had sold off my entire Masterverse collection, the Revelations collection, the Masterverse. I decided, I said for the second or third time, I'm gonna quit HeMan and Masters of the Universe, but lo and behold, Mattel does this, and I have to be strong. I don't want to start this line again, but this is making it very, very difficult. Look at this figure. It has so much nostalgia, cartoon accuracy. It's a great looking figure. I mean, he looks so much like the cartoon. Oh, and then we have Trapjaw, my favorite villain of all time. And he's got the red arm. And in the background, you got Skeletor. Look at that. It's so cartoon accurate. I mean, I thought, look, I was just going to get, maybe I could just get HeMan and Skeletor from this line and just leave them in the box, mint on card, and just quit. You know, just these 2 figures, but that Trapjaw is probably gonna suck me back in. And then we got Man-at-Arms and Teela. Look at that, cartoon accurate Man-at-Arms. A little goofy looking Teela, but I do love the body sculpt. And you know what? These 5 figures, maybe plus a 6th one like Evil Lyn, I think if I can get all those, I'm done. I'm done for this line. Famous last words, man. I mean, you're trying to keep a concise collection, and Mattel just keeps on pushing out these just terrific nostalgic figures, and I think I'm gonna have to be strong and just resist all temptation and urges to go back to Masters of the Universe. And then we get the movie Evil Lyn. Actually, this one's the best looking out of the lot. Oh, look at that head sculpt. And like I said, man, I gotta stay strong. I'm done with Masters of the Universe. Man, I wish I never saw these pics, but God, it's just so tempting. I hate it, but I love it at the same time.
Look at these new Masters of the Universe figures, and I guess this is the new upcoming series, Revolution, and the new Eternia figures. Tila as the Sorceress, that looks really good. The new Skeletor, the classic look of Man-at-Arm. I just love this. And Trapjaw, man, oh, I gotta be strong. I cannot be sucked in to this line for a third time. No, I think I have to stop.
That's it. That's the highlights or my favorites out of the reveals for San Diego Comic-Con 2023. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think of these reveals for Transformers, Marvel Legends, G.I. Joe Classified Series, Star Wars The Black Series, and the He-Man and Masters of the Universe collection. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Are you excited for all of this? And as always, hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.